The original idea I had for the RG35XX video was to do like a little head-to-head comparison between it and one of these cheap retro 8-bit only devices. They're all over Amazon for around between $10 and $25, each named differently and with slight variances. The box mine came in called it an 8-bit classic, so that's how I'll refer to it. I knew it wouldn't be a fair fight and a straight matchup, the Anbernic obviously having the advantage of supporting multiple retro consoles and the ability to add your own games, while most of these 8-bit devices only supply you with a mixed bag of Japanese version NES games, and whatever it comes with is all you can play on it. But the idea was to try and show the similarities between them, and the conclusion I would recommend it as a cheap alternative, this'll get you started kind of a thing. But I ended up leaving all the footage of the 8-bit classic out of that video, and in the conclusion of this video, I'll explain why. As I'm sure you've put together by now, this video was made with that unused footage. So without further ado, here is the 8-bit classic review. Pretty sure whichever one of these you order, the contents are going to come out looking pretty similar to this. I picked red, because why not? It comes with everything you need to get started. You can plug it into an external monitor with these RCA jacks, but it's not exactly an HD projection. About a 2-inch micro B to USB power cord, and mine came with an external gamepad for 2-player action. The controls are Start, Select, A and B, X and Y for Turbo, Reset button, and the D-pad. Micro B charging port, headphone jack, power switch, and on the left-hand side is your volume control. On the back is a removable door that reveals the battery, which I'll have a little bit more to say about a little bit later. Alright, let's power up and have a look around. It's got some funky little music that starts up with it, but it goes away once you pick English and go into the Games List menu. The available game titles are pretty decent. I was hoping to see a few more popular NES titles though, since this can only play 8-bit games. The main complaints I read about these are that the libraries are stuffed with Japanese homebrews, and that half the games are repeats. So if it says it comes with 500 games, it may only be like 375 that you actually recognize. The other widespread complaint is that they all come with Super Mario Bros., but it's overclocked with no menu options to fix it. I was curious about those repeats though, so I made a spreadsheet and listed all the games alphabetically. I was a little surprised to find that only about 15% of the game titles on mine repeated. In the beginning of this video on the screen capture snapshot, there's one claiming to have no repeats. I wonder if that one has more popular NES titles or just more Japanese homebrews. But the biggest complaint that I had with mine was the battery life. No matter how long I let it sit and charge for, after about 40 minutes of playtime, the screen would start to glitch and then go completely blank white. Plug the power cord in, hit the reset button, and it would play just fine, but the battery wouldn't charge when the power was on. So in conclusion, for what it's worth, I would highly recommend trying one of these out for yourself. The experience I had with the 8-bit classic was not a bad one, but the odds were definitely stacked against it in a comparison with the Anbernic. I feared that its faults would be magnified standing next to it, and is ultimately why this footage was left on the cutting room floor. Now, I'm also a big believer in trying things out for yourself regardless of other people's opinions. How many times have you watched a movie, eaten at a restaurant, or stayed at a hotel that had bad reviews that you disagreed with? It's why I included my little Briefcase record player in the How to Make a Mixtape video. And in that same video, at the end, I said this: if you're using this little shoebox recorder and it's making you happy, then you're doing it right. Because you can find plenty of reviews trashing both of those things, telling you to stay far away from them. But I think it's okay to treasure things that other people don't like. Plus, the way you experience something in total will be different from everyone else's experience 100% of the time. I'm DJ Jimmy Metro. Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when we are done.
If you want it. Only if you want it. You don't want it. I can feel it. You don't want it. Okay.
There's really no wrong way to make a mixtape. And don't let anybody in the comments section. You put the cassette tape in the door and then you close it.